If you could make one thing in the world become a possibility, what would it be? A flamethrower out of a Henry Hoover? An organ that plays flames? What about a sausage piano? Well, look no further, because Sam Battle already made them. Sam is breathing new life into old electronics. He's taking old relics out of landfills and making them sing. Stick around to find out what other mental inventions Sam has made.
I'm Sam, look mum no computer, and this is my museum. This museum is not obsolete, bit of a mouthful.
Sam is a musician, YouTuber, and inventor of synthesizers and other amazing things. What kind of stuff have you made, Sam?
Oh yeah, the Teletubby Tidalwave. You push the button and it does sort of a wave, so they all go wee and do the wave going down the line. The 1000 oscillator Megadrome, it was about designing one module that worked, which has 10 oscillators on it. That took a few rounds of getting it right. And then it was about sitting down and literally soldering that 100 times. How many hours on the 1000 oscillator Megadrome? Oh gosh, 300 hours, realistically, I think. I started tinkering with electronics, well, probably before I even did music and stuff. I took things apart when I was a kid all the time. My parents said that they started getting see-through toys to try and stop me from taking them apart because I don't know why. I don't know where I got the tools from. I must have been enabled by my dad or something to get some tools out the garage. It just kind of teaches you to mess around and not be scared to. I've been working in music for quite a while, probably since I was 20. I started my first band. It's an embarrassing time, you know, when you look back and you're young and you're playing guitar. I had like silly Mohican and wore a kilt playing guitar, running around. Yeah, it was quite funny. Whilst I was doing that, I found it fun to start figuring out electronics. I just got really obsessed and I just spent all my time in my room just figuring out circuit bending. So after that band folded, I just was like, oh, maybe I should do a video. And I made a video on tinfoil hats, making a drum machine out of tinfoil hats. And I put it up on Facebook and it went really well. Like for some reason, it got loads of shares and whatnot. I was like, okay, maybe I should keep on doing this. And then once a month, I just did a video. So I started the Facebook. I didn't even do YouTube at that point, 2017. And then I did the Furby organ. That went really well. It was just like, boom. People were interested in Furbies.
Here it is, a synthesizer on a bike.
We're going to make something from it. What is it? It's a microwave.
Legend has it, you can play an electric guitar straight through a light bulb.
What kind of instruments do I make? I don't really know. I like make and fix and modify all manner of things. But usually it sits around electronic and weird. Synthesizers, I don't know, every time it's different, so I'm not sure.
A synthesizer is an electronic musical instrument that generates audio signals.
I learned to build these things, well, just by myself, using the internet a lot, mostly just breaking things, and then after a time, you break less things. But I still break things.
What else have you got?
Cosmo 2.0 is my live modular rig. This is a modular synth that I've been making for donkey's years. So that's the thing I make the music on. And it's just everything kind of goes back to the modular synthesizer.
See?
Flamethrower Henry Hoover. Yeah, this was a project that I was really wanting to do. It was a bit sketchy. I was testing it one time and it was a very enclosed space and I think I might have given myself carbon monoxide poisoning at that point. But I learnt my lesson and now I'm street smart. Flamethrower organ, I searched up on eBay and found a church organ that needed pulling out. So I was like, oh my God. Basically what happens is the methane travels through the pipes, it goes through a solenoid, goes out the organ pipe and ignites on the pilot light that is out the organ. It was a serious undertaking. Gameboy Mega Machine. I thought the Furbies all in a mass were cool, but Game Boys were much more usable as sound-making devices. They just had a load more ability and versatility. So making basically a similar version, but the Game Boy Mega Machine. Sausage synth. Oh yeah, the first keyboard in the world. We made our own sausages, put them on prongs that were wired to a capacitive touch interface inside, which was based on an Arduino. Lots of big words, but basically what that means is when you touch it, a signal travels over to the Arduino from your electrical pulses in your body, and that turns it on, and that means you can play a musical instrument from sausages. Sometimes things are just not worth preserving because they smell like gone off sausages.
How long does it take you to come up with and then make these inventions?
It takes a different amount of time to build each instrument. Sometimes it's quite quick, it's quite a simple idea. Everything takes a different chunk of time. The one thing that I make sure to do is I make sure that I've got enough progress to talk about in a video, whatever it is, nearly every week. I don't really write things down, I've got a list in my head of the ideas that have turned up every so often, and then you wake up and you go, oh, right, it's time to build that. Your brain's really good at theorizing and making simulations of what's going to happen, but 9 times out of 10 it's not like that. So it's good to see what it actually turns out like. Sometimes it's not as good as you're expecting, sometimes way better than you're expecting.
All of Sam's mental inventions are on display at his museum in England. You can even play on all of them, like we did.
I've always wanted to make a museum. Don't know how it was going to happen, but suddenly there was a means to do it because I had all these projects and stuff, and they were kind of like, after I'd finished these machines, I didn't really use them much, and it just felt like, what am I doing with these things? So the only real kind of sense for them was to make them publicly accessible. This is the first room. This is the 1000 oscillator Mega Drone that we spoke about. This is the synthesizer room, where all of the synthesizers that people can play on are. This Etch-a-Sketch that is made from an old chart recorder, some glow-in-the-dark paper and a laser. So it's a mixture of my machines, other synthesizers and things that people might not usually play on, DIY synthesizers that other people have built, and also a load of old electronics as well to show people about electronics and obsolete electronics. MIDI-powered vibraphone. So this is the organ. We turn off the pump and listen to it die. Just wait for it to go down. It's running out of air. Why do I like building and fixing synthesizers? That's, I don't know. I just do it. It feels fun. It's now part of me that I do. Very liberating to have somewhat the skills to be able to either build or modify electronic musical instruments, because sometimes you get one and it doesn't completely do it exactly the way you want. So you can modify it a little bit. If you want to put a jack socket to have a different output to one thing, you drill a hole, pop a jack socket in. It's very freeing to be able to know you can do that if you want to.